Today I'm going to review the book To Sell is Human by Daniel H. Pink. It's an insightful and thought-provoking book which challenges the traditional and outdated notion of selling, showing us that it's no longer an exclusive domain of professional salespeople, but an essential part of everyone's daily life. The book is mainly structured in three parts. In the first part, the author explains the situations, circumstances which caused some trends and changes in the field of sales. And in the second part, he tells us what are the three necessary qualities required to become a good salesperson. And at last, he gives some way forward to become a good salesperson. So he begins by arguing that selling is a universal activity and it is no longer an exclusive domain of professional salespeople. To get into such a conclusion, he uses some fascinating statistical data from the US and shows that 40% of the workforce is some or other way engaged in some sort of selling activity, whether they accept the title of salesperson or not. And this is what the author defines as non-sales selling, where the aim of the activity is not just to sell a product or service, but to make people think, act or feel in a particular way. So when we are persuading a colleague during a meeting or convincing our client to adopt a proposal or simply negotiating with our family members about household responsibilities, we are all engaging in sales as it involves moving people toward a desired outcome. This is what the plot the author wants to give us in the first part, and he also explains some changes and shift happened in the field of sales. And he says that the old traditional selling is now transformed into one which is centered on service and problem solving. And also there is a shift in balance of power from sellers to buyers. And in the old times, sellers had exclusive knowledge about the product and which they used as a leverage to close their sales. But in the modern era where the information and communication technologies have gone so far, customers can research about a product, its price, they can even compare and they can even get a review even before they are buying the product. So due to this shift, the traditional high pressure sales tactics are no longer going to be effective. Instead, we need to adopt a service oriented problem solving approach. So the first chapter is particularly an eye opener for everyone as try to reframe our understanding about what selling truly is. And it's not about merely selling product and services. It's an essential skill in communication and interpersonal relations. And in the second part, he gives us the essential qualities required to become a good salesperson. That is new ABC of selling. It's nothing but attunement, buoyancy and clarity. Attunement is the ability to understand and align with others' perspectives and emotions. Good selling doesn't come from standing in our own perspectives, but by empathizing with others' feelings and emotions. And he also suggests some powerful techniques such as lowering our own standards to better understand how others perceive the world, listening them attentively, observing their body language, asking them open-ended questions. The more we can empathize with others' feelings and emotions, the more we will become successful in moving others to a desired manner. And the next is buoyancy. Buoyancy is the ability to afloat in rejection and negativity. We all know that rejection is a common challenge in sales, and he stresses the importance of normalizing rejection is an inevitable part of the process. He not only stresses that, he gives them some techniques, gives some self-talk techniques which uses interrogative statements rather than declarative statements. Let's example, instead of telling ourselves that I can't do this, we should ask ourselves, how can I improve this? So this simple shift in mindset can bring positiveness and it can positiveness rather than fostering self-doubt and negativity. And next is clarity. Clarity is the ability to make information out of complex things. And like in the example of oil. At that time, when the OYO came to India, most of the budget hotels were not providing accommodation to couples, unmarried couples. And what OYO did was, OYO created their own rooms, they give it to the unmarried couples, and they not only compare the price of different hotels, they also added a filter where the couple can filter couple-friendly rooms. And this is how clarity works. OYO could realize the gap, they realize the problem that couples need safe, clean and accessible roads. So these are the three qualities, ABC, attunement, buoyancy and clarity. And what are the way forward? The first is pitching. Pitching is nothing but how we present our idea in a short, crisp and memorable manner. In the past, we know that people used long sales talks, but today the attention spans are very short and people are very busy. So he suggests some techniques like modern pitching techniques like one word pitch, question pitch, and rhyming pitch. So, and the core message is that pitching doesn't push people, it attracts people. So it should be very clear, memorable, and short. And the next is improvisation. We all know convincing others is not like reading a script. So we should, every situation is different, so we should adapt to it carefully. And he also gives some 3 rules. That is, the first rule is we should hear them properly. We should hear them properly. And the second rule is instead of rejecting their ideas, say yes and add something new to their ideas. And the third rule is feel them, make them feel comfortable and good. Because when both sides feels better, communication grows, becomes smooth, and the trust grows. And the last but least is serve. Serving others is the key to success, and most of the best sellers succeeded because they saved their customers first and they genuinely do care for their customers. So this book is a research-backed and a powerful book, and for MBA students like us who really want to sell ourselves to others, I think this book will serve as a valuable guide to our future.